Alex from Oakland. Oh.
Welcome to November Project, the show, third episode. We made it. Your hosts, Bojan.
BG.
And
Laura.
Guys, it's almost like we practiced this. Did we practice?
Yeah, we did. We discussed that in the walkthrough, in the dress rehearsal. Laura would put the hands up and say her name. I think she nailed it. Did you nail it? Are you feeling good about that? We can do it again.
Laura. Laura.
Hey, guys, I think Steve Prochnow was quite something. First guest, last episode.
Yeah, great feedback. A lot of comments in the comment section. No, there's no comments.
Still
but
not.
Keep watching and listening and subscribing down here somewhere. Well, you know, we're trying things out. Analytics drives this show, so you know we.
Or is it caffeine? Caffeine drives the
Caffeine
show.
drives the show. November Project, the show is brought to you by caffeine.
And fun fact about caffeine, though my Serbian twin brother, Bojan, doesn't drink coffee. Fun fact, he's a morning guy. Through all this November Project stuff, not a coffee guy. But you sometimes, on special occasions, will drink a Red Bull.
Vodka.
I wasn't going to say that. I think kids are watching. Kids can't hear about alcohol.
No, actually, on YouTube, you can kind of mark if this is appropriate for children. I always say not appropriate for children because we do use swear words every now and then.
Right. Laura, what do you think Bojan would be like on like a hammerhead? You know what a hammerhead is?
No.
A hammerhead's an Americano with a couple extra shots of espresso. What would that look like?
Do you know how many spreadsheets would emerge after that?
All right, so back to the show because we're getting off tangents here.
Yeah.
I would like to introduce a new category, new segment of our show. That we're going to call it, What Have You Eaten Today?
What have you eaten today? Yum. We actually did practice that.
And it was way better in dress rehearsal.
Yeah, but
let's
be honest, let's keep moving.
You know, we're going live, so it's all good. Laura Green, what have you eaten today?
So last time you guys asked me how I kill the day and spend my time, and I wasn't truthful. I have been I like jokes about drinking a lot. I'm really not drinking that much, but I am baking so much. It's bad. So this morning, so what is it? 1 p.m. So far today, I have eaten a couple of those popovers that I made with cinnamon, sugar, and butter covered around the outside. I have eaten half of a bagel with cream cheese.
I'm writing this down.
I had a slice of apple pie, chocolate chip cookie. And then at one point in the late morning, I made a green smoothie to make myself feel better.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then on top of that, there's been an entire pot of coffee. So
can I ask about that?
We're recording this at 1 p.m. on Friday. So
I haven't even had my lunch yet.
Laura, can you tell us more about this term slice of pie? What is that? How does that add up with the whole serving size? You can get.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm not actually cutting a slice out of the pie. I'm just going at it with a fork.
Fork to tin.
Like coffee bite, chase the toddler, coffee bite.
Yeah. Farm to table.
All right, so
10.
Are you one of those people that if your edge kind of gets screwed up, then you have to again line it up, or you just kind of hack at it and you put it back in the fridge and it looks like the mice have been at it?
Yeah, I hack at it.
It's a good question though. It's a good question, Boj, because you wouldn't think, as shambly as some of my life is, I like a nice edge.
Yeah, me too.
I'll take the fork in, I'll pie it up, and then I gotta clean it out.
Yeah, same. But then if I screw it up, then I'm like, all right, I need to, and then I just keep going and going. Next thing you know, pie's gone.
Are you gonna ask me?
I'm going to ask you, what have you eaten today? You want to sing a jingle?
What have you eaten today? Yum.
Yum.
What I've eaten today, I did a couple big cups of coffee this morning before my sandbag workout and run. That was a fitness brag. And then after that, I did a spinach smoothie, which is just spinach and orange juice and a scoop of a product that I'm only taking in because Laura Green said it's healthy. And Laura is a physical therapist, so.
What is it though? What is
the collagen.
Oh, okay. Collagen peptides. Yeah, I'm into
And so if I could explain this, Laura, the reason I'm taking collagen in my orange juice smoothie Ecto Ooze is because it helps my hair cut remain strong.
All right. So the guy that doesn't do haircuts often.
Can you see the collagen? Look at this.
No, but I thought the collagen is what people put in their lips so they look like plump. Is that the same?
Even though I'm taking it, Boyan, I'm going to have to field these questions to the therapist.
You're a resident doctor.
What am I doing? I'm doing lips in the smoothie.
Okay, one of the things that it helps with is hair growth, nail strength, your skin. But it also is good for like your microbiome, your gut health. It has a ton of protein in it.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
From your bones. So
right.
Not vegan.
Right.
So I know that you're vegan sometimes.
So after a workout, after I've shredded my entire factory of muscles,
Mm-hmm.
a little scoop of collagen will bring me back to where I was before, which is sleeping in bed. Got it. Okay, so before we move on from this segment, I'm going to ask you, Boyan, and I'm going to sing the jingle again. What have you eaten today? What have you eaten today? Yum.
Yum. I'm a peanut butter and jelly guy, like breakfast, lunch, dinner.
On
bread, a roll up. So like you saw me. We were doing the pre-production meeting. I take like a large burrito tortilla. I slap some peanut butter on it. I throw banana. Sometimes if I feel like extra special, I put some jelly on it. I just roll that thing up, and it's like a delicious burrito
with a glass of whole milk, right?
2%. Yeah, my son and I, we crush 2%.
I love the Boyan's diet. Like, is the same ingredients and the same format of how they feed the gorilla at the zoo. And we were talking just like 20 minutes ago on FaceTime, and like I watched you casually just kind of, you were like, and that's the interesting thing with that whole thing, is that you're just rolling up this like pipe bomb, and I watched you take it down, and I think it's inspiring.
But then my awesome wife comes home and she cooks delicious dinner, and we crush that. And then if there are leftovers, I'll eat that for lunch the next day. If not, back to the roll up.
Yeah, dudes, I was this past week I've been doing like a lot of workouts in the evening because it's just kind of weird. I haven't been getting up and not, whatever. And last night I went to go for a run, and I had an entire full belly of, and you folks know this from having kids, a full belly of like random like discarded food from the kid. Like he didn't eat that. Well, I'm not throwing out that chicken nugget, right? Times 4. And one fell on the floor, which has a little more like a little dust on it. But that's fine. And so then you get this weird, like, do you guys do that? Like, do you clean up after your kid, or are you able to throw food away? Where are you at on that?
Well, you know that I live in the woods and my wife has chickens. I say my wife has chickens because I refuse to take ownership of the chickens.
Right.
Chickens do eat a lot of things. So a lot of times we do food scraps and just toss it out to the chicken coop. Also, Vermont is mandating starting this summer that similar to what Seattle or the whole state of Washington does, there's no food waste in the trash. So you have to compost. And so we're starting to get into that. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I'm I'm not gonna throw food away.
Yeah.
And so I'll just kind of like scoop it in my face.
And it makes its own roll up at the end of the day.
Right. I mean, isn't that what burrito is? Just kind of like put anything in it.
I'm not going to ask Laura. Laura, I think you've got the next segment.
Oh, is it time for the 5-star review?
5-star.
Five.
Which is now named as Laura's 5-star review. I don't know why. Probably because out of the three of us, I'm the least likely to give anyone 5 stars.
Right.
Okay, so this week's 5-star review also.
Well, explain what it is. Sorry.
Well, okay. Normally, I mean, I think very few people give out 5 stars on like Yelp or Google or wherever you rate things. TripAdvisor, like who? I don't know. Where do people rate things?
The yellow pages.
So we're only giving out 5 stars, and this week it goes to the co-leaders of November Project Brooklyn. So the reason being is Maggie and Jessica, the 2 co-leaders in Brooklyn, obviously due to the current state of the world, we're unable to meet in person. So we've been doing a lot of Zoom, Google Hangout workouts, and they were still able to award the Positivity Award in a pretty creative way. They photoshopped the Positivity Award into the recipient's hands. And at the end of the Zoom workout, they brought it up onto the screen so everyone could see and congratulate the winner. I thought that was really creative and seemed to have a good reaction. So 5 stars.
5 stars. What's the Positivity Award again?
Oh, I'll leave this to you guys.
What's that?
Positivity Award.
What is the Positivity Award, BG?
Oh, yeah, for people that are new. The Positivity Award is a wooden oar handle from sweep rowing, the sport of rowing, which the athlete grabs with both hands. It's just this wooden oar. It's about that big. It's given out in all November Project cities around the world to one person, and it's used to highlight how great they are. Maybe they're really upbeat. Maybe they're very special for one way or another, but the group is much better when they are there. So the leaders use it as an opportunity to highlight someone with awesome characteristics, and I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I also, going back to the 5-star review, I think it's, first of all, it's super creative to think of someone, the whole situation that we're in, we're having to adjust to virtual workouts, trying to feel the sense of community, a sense of belonging, while still being glued to the computers as we are right now. And for those 2 cats from Brooklyn to come up with something that is an in-person, almost kind of ritual, right? Like this, some cities do it different ways. Some cities kind of like toss it, like standing 20 feet away, and you have to catch it, and kind of like there's athleticism involved. Some cities do it like once a month. Some cities do it once every week. Some cities do it every 3 months. And it is a special thing. And to do it virtually in such a creative way, I think that's really cool. And
yeah, it's worth at least 4 stars. I'm going to go back and look at the photo and see how good it is.
Great Photoshop work. Let me see if I can pull it out.
Speaking of too good, we have a guest that's coming in at some point.
A few minutes.
And it's tough to follow Steve Procknell from Buffalo. I wouldn't want to do it. Steve last week for episode 2 was the second. Oh no, he was the first guest of all time, right?
Yeah.
So
well, it was only the second episode.
Don't sell yourself short, Laura. Don't sell yourself.
Yeah, there's nothing only about it. So without further ado, following Steve Procknell.
Technology is
what's happening. There we go. Oh my gosh, this is Des. This is our friend Des. Des, welcome to the show.
Hey.
Crazy seeing you here. I just clicked the link.
So you have the internet. How's that going? No, just kidding. So for an introduction, Des is a friend of ours that we run with when we're in Seattle. And
I have a question. All right. So everybody in the world calls you Des. Do you you introduce yourself as Des or Desiree?
Depends on what I think the mood is. If it's a formal businessy thing, maybe Desiree. Or if it's like the tax person, I don't know. But like friends, Des. Like, oh, this is almost like my initial how I feel about you is how I introduce myself.
So it's like, so if you go to a wedding, there's a nameplate with a really nice person. It'd be an informal setting. You might do this.
No, because if I'm at a wedding, I'm friends with everyone. Otherwise, they probably would invite me, right?
Got it. Laura, can you introduce Des for anyone on this planet that doesn't know who she is? She's a runner, right?
She's a runner. She's a 2018 Boston Marathon winner. 2018. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
No, she's an Olympian, multi-time Olympian, and she just secured 4th place at the Olympic trials, and because of that, they called off the Olympics. They said,
that's the best thing I've heard yet.
So let's postpone this year, and we'll see what happens. So Des, I actually have a question for you. Anything you ever read about you, people like to kind of like attach on to like a couple fun facts, and the 2 fun facts that are always brought up about you are, one, that you love coffee, which is awesome. I think a lot of coffee runners like coffee, but also that you're a big whiskey drinker, which makes me laugh because it kind of makes you seem like you're kind of like the heavy drinker of the running scene. And I think that journalists and writers just kind of attach themselves onto those things. So now anything that you read is like about how Des loves whiskey. So me and I want to kind of create that 3rd bullet point for you and Bojan. So we want to brainstorm this. So what are the other things?
It can be real or fake. What's the 3rd thing for Des that's not running? Because everyone wants to write about the alcohol and the coffee. What's the 3rd thing?
If I were doing like a 2 truths and a lie, I would put those 2, and then loves to crowd surf at concerts.
No.
But and then I would have to come up with a lie because those are all real. So I guess that got confusing.
When's the last time you crowd surfed?
What's that?
When's the last time you crowd surfed? And what was the concert?
So this is a great story because it's Brooks people, and I can't name the person because they're a high-powered person at Brooks. But at the running event 2 years ago, I crowd surfed and made another Brooks higher up as well. So we were in it together. It was kind of like an initiation type thing. And then that was the last time because everyone was like, if you drop her, you're in so much trouble. So I felt like responsible for my inappropriate behavior.
Des, what are you doing? What are you doing to stay positive? What tell us your life. What's happening? What's your day-to-day right now?
Yeah, so it was processing 4th place at trials, which is always tough. And then I was bouncing back for Boston. And then that was like, okay, we're postponing that. So it's sort of woe is me or whatever. And then you look at the big picture, like, actually I have it really good. If my biggest inconvenience right now is like, oh, I didn't get to go to the Olympics, or that really fun Boston Marathon, I have to wait a little bit longer. There are real problems for people right now, and a lot of uncertainty, and I'm in an incredible position. So I'm done feeling sorry for myself. That ended that really quickly and kind of put things in perspective. And now it's like I get to run for my health and sanity. I have time to regroup and refresh after the trials run, and just get fit and take the dogs out for a run. And so I'm just kind of really appreciating what I do have, which I think is really helpful. And then doing puzzles.
Yeah. What are you doing? 1,000 piece, 5,000 piece? What are you working on?
Yeah, I just finished this 1,000 piece gradient puzzle that was magnificent. Like no lines on it at all, just from yellow to bright pink.
Yeah.
And I finished almost finished it, but I'm pretty sure the dog ate the last piece. So
Right. I saw you post that on IG. That looked pretty psycho. I'm not gonna lie, Des. Speaking of psycho, I am like a newfound running fan and a fan of yours. And everyone knows the Heisman Trophy pose, and everyone knows what Usain Bolt does. And I'm not making this up. I was on a run a day ago, and I was by myself at night, and I was wearing a Brooks jacket that was kind of like the jacket you wore in 18. And I threw my hands up, like the mitt was on, when you came across the line. And I thought of you, and it was really dark of you. Is there someone in your life that when you're running that you think of that keeps you moving or keeps you inspired?
That's a great question. Well, I had a ton of great teammates over the years, so they all inspire me just to get out the door. And then you think about, people who have done so much for our sport. I guess like when I'm training for a race, it's like you act as if you are the thing you're trying to become. So you plan on being a champion every day, and what does that look like, and how do they dress, and what time do they get up, and how do they eat, and how do they behave, and you put all those traits together and you bring that into every day, and you act like that for months until you get to your race, and then if you don't break the tape, you're actually just a better person because of it. And I realized as I was doing these things that I was just pretending to be Meb, but female.
That's a great.
Yeah.
Aren't we
I
all
didn't know where that was going, and so when he said that, I'm like, all right, that's awesome.
The guy's a champion through and through, and I think talk about all these things after Boston, like, oh, you got to like hug Taylor Swift. That's so crazy. You got to go to this Formula One. One of the coolest perks of it was that I get to do all these events with Meb as the male champion, and just every time you hear his story, he has something new and interesting and just incredible. And I just still feel like I learned from him, and I'm fortunate to have that opportunity with him.
And Des, when you won in 18, I know that you got a lot of opportunities from it. One of the opportunities, you were able to lead a 5K run at the Meeting of the Minds in Seattle, which was super special.
BG, we can't really hear you since you're like.
Oh, I might just tag out.
No, you have something covering your microphone.
Yeah, you put like your phone down on your computer or something.
Well, I got some brilliant stuff to say. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, you're getting there.
I'll practice making noise. Des, I know where you got that T-shirt. That's some Bird Rock coffee.
That's right.
Des, and I ran into each other at the coffee shop.
Yeah, we're gonna cut you off.
I think it's history.
Yeah. Sounds like headphones are connected all of a sudden or something like that.
Yeah. Des, I have a question. So when you met the leaders of November Project last year in Seattle, you led a 5K run, and then we did like a tour of Brooks HQ, and after that we hopped on a boat with all the Brooks employees. There was 100-something leaders there. A majority of those leaders are huge running nerds and big fans of yours for all the obvious reasons. But there was a group of people that kind of like just kind of start congregating around you and start getting like really close to you and really like closing in on you. And to, an observer from afar, I was like, oh my God, someone go and help her. Should I go help her? But you kind of like were able to like nicely and politely get out of that situation. Did you see what I was seeing? Like, were they kind of closing in on you, or do you recall the situation?
I remember that being just so much energy in every scenario that whole time I was with you guys, which was incredible. The thing that I don't remember that specific situation, I'm sure it was fine. But the thing I remember on the boat was when you guys started a bounce, and like it was like, oh, this could be dangerous because there's so much energy and it's on a boat.
And like, it's just the worst that it was on a boat. Like there was no escaping.
That means like I don't know which way this is gonna. It's like a trampoline. Like someone could get like bounced off this.
And everybody kind of shifted in one area of the boat, so both were kind of tilted to one side. So yeah.
Well, we have one more question for you. We started this new segment today called "What Have You Eaten Today?" Go, BG.
What have you eaten today? Yum.
So, what have you eaten so far today, Des?
Oh goodness. Not much actually. I had coffee this morning, and then I had some type of power bar. It was a new bar, so I had that before I ran. And then I could eat salmon in any form, just like every day for the rest of my life. So I had smoked salmon over a bowl of rice. Now I'm getting a little shaky because I had some more coffee in there too. Yeah. That's it.
Maybe that's her third bullet point, passionate about salmon.
It is. If I had to pick one protein for the rest of my life, salmon. Like if you could only have one meat, it would be salmon.
Awesome.
So Des, we know you got to go. Thank you so much. It's awesome to see your face. Thank you very much for making time. I hope you stay healthy.
Us. So fun. It's always good to hang out with you guys.
You're the
yeah. You guys have fun. Good luck with the chat. I'm going to see if I can exit this properly. Take care.
Guys.
You're the best, Des.
Stay on for the next second.
Hi, Maria.
I can't believe you made me follow Des. How fucking dare you?
Well, we made Des follow Steve Prognum, so she's in trouble too.
Tough act. How's everyone doing? Episode 3, working out the kinks.
Give us some inspiration. I mean, now that Des is out of here.
What else do we have? I have some notes. On the first 2 episodes.
Oh, do you?
No. But I did really enjoy 5-star reviews, and so I wanted to give 2 5-star reviews of my own. Is that okay?
You can get 1, not 2. You get 1.
Okay, that's fair.
Which one's your favorite?
Dr. Tony Fauci, 5 stars, 6 stars. That guy.
Okay.
Not just because he's Ali Fauci of November Project San Francisco's dad. I really take to heart the fact that he's just like a guma from Brooklyn who's been grinding against bureaucracy for 45 years, and he's just out here doing it for us. I also like the fanfare that is following him everywhere he goes. So that's pretty cool.
So second Brooklyn shout out, 5-star review. So our first shout out, our first 5-star review that you missed was the leaders of MP Brooklyn, who gave virtual positivity award and photoshopped the positivity award in person's hand. So
they kill it, don't they?
Not too shabby.
How's my sound? Can I get back in?
You good. Now you're back.
I
hated that. You guys did great with Des at the end. You did great. Everyone did great. I was nervous. Des was there. She was Des the whole time. Then Dazzo came in. All right, we're all caught up. I would love, if you guys don't mind, to roll Dazzo into the news segment.
Okay.
There's a news segment. I want to introduce it, but I'd love Bojan to sing the song.
Okay.
It's a brand new segment. It was drafted and created by Laura Green. It's called "What Have You Eaten Today?"
What have you eaten today? Yum.
So, like the title, Dazzo, we're asking contestants and guests.
Contestants.
What have you eaten today?
What do you win? No, I love this. I am on several. One thing I've been doing a lot more is texting a lot. I feel like I'm on the phone all the time, just trying to keep up with folks who I would be seeing in person otherwise. And food comes up all the time, but I've started a separate segment in my own life called Quarantine Cuisine, which is the same thing. You just ask people what they're eating. So if you want to workshop that title, feel free. But
you're a guest on the show. I need you to participate on the creation. We got that.
Not pitching your show.
You're a guest. And what have you eaten today?
The only thing I've eaten today is a bowl of Honey Bunches of Oats, the almond kind, with almond milk and a really large coffee. So
What is this about? Am I the only one overeating in the corner?
Laura, I was about to say,
No,
I need to retire your segment before it even becomes a thing, because
I think, yeah.
I've
we
been
just check
home.
in what you, Laura, have been eating
Totally.
today. Everybody
Totally.
else is like eating normal things.
No,
What Laura
not
eating
normal.
today?
I've been working from home for 3 weeks, so I'm like,
Course, 5-star review. I'm taking over the show. This is crazy.
Of course. All right, so
I've been working from home for 3 weeks now, so I kind of have my like regiment down. But the first couple of weeks was out of control. It was like chips and salsa, 9 a.m., 3 pots of coffee. Like it was not good.
what do you got on the wall?
Let's see if you guys can see it. So I actually have, Laura inspired me when she was talking about passive hair growth. And so I got a couple photos. This is from the movie Clueless. But if you go up, I honestly have no idea what this camera said. But it says, "I'm not perfect, but my eyebrows are." And that's from my mom. And I decided to grow out my eyebrows during this period. So we'll see if they're still perfect when quarantine's lifted.
Oh man.
Maria,
Passive hair growth.
Passive hair growth.
Maria, last time I saw you, we were in a city called Richmond, Virginia, and you and one of your 3 co-leaders, you were traveling with someone named Emma.
Mm-hmm.
You hatched a plan. It was pre-coronavirus. Can you just talk us a little bit about that evening and what were you thinking there? What was it? Tell us all about it.
So I feel like you're not giving yourself enough credit in this Richmond scheme. Emma and I drove from Washington, D.C. to Richmond, Virginia to take part in their Hell Week with Chris Kearns and Jay Baby. And you were kind of making the joke of like, Hell Week wouldn't even be that hard for you guys because Washington, D.C. does 3 workouts Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And you're right, it wouldn't be. It would be adding 2 extra days. And then the joke kind of snowballed to the point where we're like, Hell Month would be a real challenge for us. And in that moment, it was still very much a joke. And then the next morning at Richmond's workout, during announcements, Chris Kearns points at the 2 of us and says, and go up to DC if you want to do Hell Month starting in March. So the drive back up to DC for 2 hours, all we talked about was like, no, like it's dumb. It's so dumb. We shouldn't do it. And then we're like, well, like we could if we did like track Tuesdays and Lincoln went. And then like by the time we got to DC, we were like, fully, we're doing this. This is something that we are going to get Jake brought in on and do. And
which is what?
So we planned to do a month of workouts every single day throughout the month of March. Monday, Wednesday, Friday was our typical workout schedule. Tuesdays, we added in a track Tuesday with a group that works out at a local track. And then Thursdays, we had guest co-leads. Saturday, Sunday were broken up into like community events like races, and then just some kind of like one-off things that we thought of like yoga, or we had a field day plan. We were going to do a Traverbal workout to Baltimore. Needless to say, we did 12 days straight before deciding to suspend workouts, which in hindsight, 100%. I mean, I think, Boy, and I was saying to you the day that we spoke, like, I was just grieving the loss of our planning. And this was like Emma and Jake. Like, I feel like once we were like, okay, we're doing this, they jumped in like feet first. And Emma made like a color coordinated calendar. Jake was just like cranking out all of these different like media materials. I honestly did very little in the preparation for it, other than just being generally excited.
But don't underestimate that, Dazzle. You're a machine when it comes to that.
But so we got 12 days in, and Jake had been in San Diego for work for the first week of it. So Emma and I and about 5 or 6 other people had shown up every day for roughly 2 weeks if you count like the last Friday workout that we had, the Saturday long run crew, going whatever. And I gotta say, by like that last Thursday workout, Emma and I were Snapchatting each other before, and we're like, should we just like take an Uber? Like, what the fuck? I'm exhausted. But it's really, I think like we grease the skids for when we do it again. And like we fully intend to do a full month. It's absurd, but it's going to be so funny. And if any other city does it before we do, I will be pissed.
Wow, the challenge is out there.
The gauntlet has been
done. The challenge is out there.
Well, we don't have to worry about the Richmond guys doing it.
No, the joke, Dazzle, you remember this, the joke with their group as they were all sitting there after they made that announcement was, Kearns goes, now don't get any ideas. We only do this Wednesday once a week. We'll cut it down to once a month. I love those dudes. Okay. You said you're on the phone.
Didn't happen. Sadness for not fulfilling your lifelong dream to have 31 straight workouts. Things turn off. Everything goes back to online. Are you guys still doing workouts online 31 days? Or are you back to
so I think for me, a lot of the attractiveness of March Madness was meeting up in person every day. And like you saw that even over those 12 days, like people who we never see or who never come out, like you just get into this groove and like you're going to coffee afterwards, you're seeing people running to work, like you were just there for it. And losing that person-to-person connection kind of just took all the fun out of it. So we're still doing a March Madness style bracket that we run on Mondays and Fridays. We're basically doing Spice, which, as you guys know, is any body weight exercise that we do at a November Project workout. And Jake and Emma made an NCAA style bracket, and we had everyone go through the round of 64, round of 32, round of 16. The Elite 8 is happening today. Whenever this episode will air, it'll be over. And we're going to have like the champion of Spice at the end. So that's been our Monday, Friday. And then we're hooking up with MP Global on Wednesdays, which has been fun to see people from all around the world, like getting in on those workouts. And it's been like better than I could have imagined. I think for someone who's so into the person-to-person connection at NP and like that huge hit of dopamine and serotonin that you get from just like seeing 100 smiling faces early in the morning, I was like, going online is going to be brutal. And it's been really heartening to see what people are getting up to. And like, I think somebody was making the joke on episode 2 about like everyone's going live, and like we're doing a lot of time lapses in DC. We're just shooting constant time lapses in the alleyway behind my house. Yeah. Everyone knows what my living room looks like, what my alleyway looks like, and now they know what my bedroom looks like. So good thing I'm moving next week.
Hey, so we're going to kind of slowly bring this vehicle to a halt, or whatever the metaphor. One of the things we're trying to do with NP the show, especially now, is have our guest contestants tell us about where in the city that you are and the things that are positive, things that you're seeing out there in the world, in DC, in the district, in the area that you're inspired by. Like, what's great right now?
It's great seeing a lot of people. So Washington, D.C., a lot of uptight people, a lot of really smart people, a lot of people consuming lots of news. So everyone, for the most part, is practicing social distancing really well, in a way that it kind of made me check myself and be like, all right, like stop being an asshole and get with the program. And so like running down to Meridian Hill where we have our Monday workouts and seeing like people actually there who might not have ever been to that park ever in their life. Like, that's amazing. I'm not advocating that everyone go down to the National Mall and go check out the cherry blossoms this weekend. You actually can't because they shut it down. But I think people enjoying outdoor space, and certainly one thing I've been heartened by is just like the general stories coming out of like pollution's going down, the earth is a little bit cleaner. Like, we all have the individual capacity to make that change, right? Like, if you don't have to get into a car, you don't have to. And if you can walk somewhere, walk somewhere. And so that's been really, really nice to see. And just in general, like the influx of people being outside and appreciation for the outdoors has been really, really cool. Also, just in general, I think people in DC taking this really seriously from the jump. And when we said like, we're not having workouts and this is why, everybody was nothing but supportive, and people are still reaching out and asking what they can do to help. And I think looking at people on the front lines and trying to be, as useful as we can be to them. My sister is a nurse at a hospital in San Francisco. And so it kind of feels like pretty pathetic that I'm like complaining about being in my house and working from home and like daily gripes when like she's out there doing the real work. So I think people are really taking that to heart and just trying to do what they can to pitch in.
Amen.
Well, so I just want, first off, Maria, thank you for coming on the show, co-leader of November Project DC. Right? Just to do a little recap.
No one is still watching. You guys are past the 8-minute mark.
Huh?
No one's still watching. You're past the 8-minute mark.
This is for myself, okay? What did you eat today? Everyone ate normal, appropriate amounts of food except for me. My barista friend Des came on the show. She loves salmon. I think we covered it all.
How about the 5 stars?
Oh, I gave 5-star review to Dr. Fauci and to Maggie and Jessica in Brooklyn. So
we know that Dazzle's on the fence about all of us, but what do you think Des thinks of us?
You're asking me what I think Des.
I'm asking anybody. How do you think? Like, will she come on next week? I think she'll probably come on again.
I think Des likes Laura. She's scared of both of you.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And on that note,
yes,
we're going to shut this down. Maria, thank you so much for coming on. Thanks for your time. Be safe. Wash your hands.
Be safe.
Good job, everybody. Bye-bye. Love you all.
Do it.
Stop recording.
Do it.